I think tomorrow President Obama will be holding a farewell address. No, it's next week. Excuse me. Next week, Obama's doing that. Because the day after, Donald Trump's going to hold a press conference. Well, when Obama does give his farewell address, he's going to be doing it from Chicago, a peaceful city. You know, if there's one model city out there, it's Chicago. The latest out of Chicago, this story from CNN, Chicago torture. Facebook Live video leads to 4 arrests. A young woman who broadcast the beating and racial taunting of a man on Facebook Live has been arrested with 3 others in connection with a gruesome attack. The disturbing 30-minute video shows a man tied up, his mouth covered, cowering in the corner of his room. His attackers laugh and shout, F, well, they use the full word. F Donald Trump and F white people as they begin to kick and punch him. Video shows someone cutting into his scalp with a knife, leaving a visibly bald patch. Police said the victim, an 18-year-old special needs, officers found the disoriented young man wandering a Chicago street in crisis. He was so traumatized, it took most of the night for him to calm down, so he was able to speak to the police. The suspects, 2 men and 2 women, all 18 years old, in custody awaiting formal charges, which are expected to be filed Thursday. The victim knew at least one of his accused attackers from school, according to Commander Kevin Duffin. Though he may have voluntarily gotten into a van with the group, police considering kidnapping charges because the victim is white and the people in the video are black. Police also investigating whether hate crime charges are appropriate. Quote, although they're adults, they're 18, kids make stupid decisions. I shouldn't call them kids. They're legally adults, but they're young adults. They make stupid decisions, Duffin said. I don't care. They're adults. They didn't steal a car and go for a joyride. They didn't go inside a store and steal some chips. Those are stupid decisions. They could have killed this kid. They may have, and I don't believe we know yet, what exactly. They just say these special needs. I don't go into details, but listen, if anybody is kidnapped and forced to drink toilet water, is kicked and punched and scalped, that's going to affect you for a very long time. For someone with special needs, that could affect them the rest of their life, period. That's not a stupid mistake. That is terrorism. And I know somebody out there is going to go, Chad, this wasn't terrorism. Yeah. You kidnap somebody, you tie them up, you put a knife to their throat like they did to this guy. Apparently you did this for political reasons because you included Donald Trump's name in it, shouting F Donald Trump and F white people and forcing him to say it. And then you broadcasted it on social media for everybody to see it so they would be scared or they would be happy for you. Hell, ISIS is pretty damn proud of these kids. ISIS is probably just sitting around going, well, you didn't finish the job. Duffin said, quote, that will certainly be part of whether or not we seek a hate crime to determine whether or not this is sincere or just stupid ranting and raving. Let me tell you something. If this was 4 18-year-old white kids who had kidnapped an 18-year-old special needs black kid or young adult, whatever, there would be absolutely no debate from anyone in the police force or anyone in the media whether or not that was a hate crime. There wouldn't be anyone just going, oh, kids are kids. It's just stupid ranting and raving. Let me tell you what stupid ranting and raving is, okay? Stupid ranting and raving is going outside after Donald Trump wins an election and chanting, not my president. That is stupid ranting and raving. Stupid ranting and raving is firing up Facebook Live and ranting about Donald Trump and white people. Stupid ranting and raving is firing up Facebook Live and just complaining about race in general and just saying that, the only reason you don't like Barack Obama is because he's black or something. That's stupid ranting and raving. This was sincere. This was sickening. And anybody who saw any portion of the video or just hears about this knows that it's sickening. The Chicago police superintendent, Eddie Johnson, said, quote, it's possible the racially charged statements were little more than people ranting about something they think might make a headline. Now, and this is part of the reason why I don't like hate crime legislation anyway. This whole, it's up to the police now. It's up to somebody, whether or not if they were sincere in their heart, whether they liked somebody because of their race or not, or they were just being stupid. Let's get rid of that. If you kidnap somebody and scalp them, beat them, tie them up, I don't care what race you are, what race they are, you hate them. You're a scumbag, okay? You're a savage. You don't deserve to walk the streets. You should go away for a long, long time. I don't care if you're 18 years old or 40 years old. Doesn't matter. You go away for a long time. At 18 years old, I'd say well before 18 years old, you know it's right not to kidnap somebody. You know that's wrong. The police also say they don't believe the attack was politically motivated. I don't know how you could say that or not. Look, I don't think these 18-year-olds in Chicago who did this, their aim probably wasn't, this is retribution for Donald Trump. Probably wasn't that at all. They're probably too stupid to even think about it. But when you see every single day on television that Donald Trump hates black people, that Donald Trump is a racist, that Donald Trump is this, that Donald Trump is that, you already have it in your heart that Donald Trump's a racist and that he's evil and that any white person who may have voted for him or just any white person in general who is out there, they're responsible for it. We saw videos of an actual proof. There was all these fake news stories of Donald Trump supporters going around and painting swastikas and burning churches. And it came out, no, none of those stories were true. None of them. But we did see actual video of young black people pulling people out of a car that had a Trump sticker and beating the hell out of them. We saw that video. Was that politically motivated? Probably so. So I don't know. Maybe this was politically motivated. Maybe it was ignorance motivated. I don't know. What I do know is that it's pretty sickening. And now, Jody, have we heard yet? We'll get to the phones here in just a second, because I know some people want to sound off on this. Have we heard yet from the Reverend Jesse Jackson or...
No.
What about the other Reverend?
No.
No? Okay.
Al Sharpton?
Yeah,
No,
what about Reverend
Al?
Al? What about, because there's, what's his name? He can't stop talking about racial stuff. President Obama. We've heard from the president, right? We've heard from the president.
No.
Right? He's given a speech. He went out and...
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I've seen.
He hasn't?
Yeah, he's not on Fox. I'll check MSNBC.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, usually, if there's an incident Usually, okay. Loretta Lynch, she's got to have said something, right? Loretta Lynch is on.
No. Not yet, Chad.
Well, it's early. It's early in the day. Maybe they'll say something.
This happened like 2 days ago, something like
that?
Or was it yesterday?
This story came out yesterday.
Well, they got a little time.
Yeah, they got a little time. They're probably forming statements, all that kind of stuff. Let's go to the phones. And Brian, you're on KFYO.
Hey, Chad, how's it going?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm having a great New Year so far.
Good, good.
This is when I hear of our president going to Chicago, which is the murder capital of the world, basically. Well, I shouldn't say the world because the Middle East is probably that. And we have this type of situation that goes on, and they have no cojones to call it a hate crime. And I'm with you. Hate crime is just a word made up for black people to have an excuse to give more punishment, I guess. I don't know. But what's got to happen here is the chief of police in this area is going to have to tell these people, look, you're doing more damage to our race than you're helping. This kind of ignorance and lack of family and social leadership, which usually comes from the male part of the family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. You got the mothers out there trying to love them, and they're doing the best they can. But, this constant feed from the other side, and Jesse Jackson's nowhere to be found. Sharp is nowhere to be found. How about T.D. Jakes? How about he step up? How about Oprah step up? Hell, how about Hollywood step up and say something? Because handicapped people's lives matter. How about that new slogan?
Yeah.
I told my wife 15 years ago that we were going to end up having a race war before we had a major world war. And we're getting awful close to it because and I'm not a racist man by whatever means. I wasn't brought up that way because nobody has a choice of what color they are. You come out a human being. What kind of human being is what you make of yourself? That's it. It's you. It's all you, and I'm tired of people passing the buck that it's this social program that didn't work or that social program didn't work. They need to take these 5 kids, and they need to make them an example like they've never made an example before.
Yeah, well, the 4, you lock them up. You lock them up for a long time. There's absolutely no excuse, and they're even in this article they're trying to make an excuse of, well, we don't know if this. Here's this. Although they're adults,
he was a white guy talking next to a black man who's the chief of police. Okay, that is the only reason. I will talk to a black person the same way I talk to a white person because they are a human being.
Yeah.
Okay. Their race doesn't matter.
This whole idea. Well, they're adults, but they're only 18, and so they're kids, and they make dumb decisions. No, you can't do that.
The dumb decisions I made when I was 18 was maybe having too much to drink down at the beach in California when I was a kid. That's a dumb mistake. I didn't drive, but I was just down there being stupid drunk. Okay. Yeah. We're not talking about physically, verbally abusing somebody.
Yeah, that's not that is
4 white guys on a black guy. Man, there would be hell, have no fury. These guys would come out of the woodwork and they'd be asking for money and donations and everything else. People need to realize the color is not what's the matter. What kind of human being you are is what is the matter.
Yeah. Brian, good call. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. 770-5790. We'll be right back. Back on the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. All right, taking your phone calls, also continuing to discuss this story out of Chicago where this 18-year-old, special needs, was attacked from everything that we have just because he was a white guy. He was a white guy and an easy target. And he was attacked for that. And in this Facebook Live video, it shows these other 18-year-olds, holding a knife to him. He was forced to drink toilet water. It's just sickening what all he had to go through. And, the worst part of this is that you have some within not only the police department, but the news media who are trying to say, well, this is just stupid. It's not, it's, maybe it wasn't sincere. They're young adults. They're basically children. And this is just what children do in Chicago. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what the police department in Chicago said. This is just what children do. In Chicago, it's just what they do. That's how kids have fun. They kidnap each other and they torture each other. Just pretty sad, that's for sure.